right. Hello and welcome back to my Ancient Gaming stream. I'm Zilla,
I'm Tortoise.
and this is where I play games with ancient studies content and talk about that and whatever else comes to mind. We are in part 14 now of our Heaven's Vault playthrough. Don't worry, we're only going to play the initial game, not any of the new game pluses, for those of you thinking about, oh no, we know how long this game is. It's a wonderful game in which the main gameplay mechanic is epigraphy, which speaks to my heart. This is one of my favorite games ever. Which is to say that this is a game about learning an ancient language and using it to interpret the past, present, and future. Tortoise has been keeping a log of all of our interactions with Ancient in our friendly little notebook that we received with the special edition. And so this is a glyphic language, or an ideographic, where each glyph represents an idea, and then you combine them to make more complex words. We also have found a little bit of spoken ancient, which we don't entirely know how to pair with the glyphic ancient, but hey, learn more as we go. So, if you would like to catch up from the beginning, you can always check out the recordings on my YouTube channel, Zilla's Athenaeum, or you're welcome to just stick with us and jump right in. Helpfully, we have the story so far, which I will read out now and start supplementing, and then we'll just dive into gameplay. The story so far. Aaliyah, that's our character, a grad student, historian, and linguist, and Six, her accompanying robot, assigned by her advisor, have been looking for the missing roboticist Janiki Renba, sent by Professor Miari, Aaliyah's advisor, to uncover the cause of the fall of Iox, the death of the previous empire, which she believes is soon to return. But ancient memories found inside a robot led Renba to a different discovery, a legendary ship, the Heaven's Vault, which Renba believed could save the Nebula from darkness. The roboticist's search began with a telescope-like device from a ship buried deep on a moon near Elbereth, a relic from the vault, perhaps. Meanwhile, Aaliyah is due to return to Iox to present Miari with an incredible discovery, which we will probably decline to do. So... yes, where we were, we had just returned to Mercy, a farming moon, where we had dropped off the lonely and isolated Amir, who has befriended some oracular pigs. And they have told us some words. So, now we will be faced with the question of where to go next. We could, of course, proceed to Iox, the university, and tell our advisor Miari what we've discovered, but why would we do that? Miari has not displayed good intentions. There has been an insinuation that she might have killed Renba herself by planting an explosive on his ship. Or at least she didn't seem to care too much that he died finding her the information she wanted. We could go to Elbereth, where we can check in with our friend Oroy and see what she's up to. We could check out the observatory, which is the one site we have enough information to go to that we haven't been to yet. But we do have some nebulous clouds where unknown sights might lead us. So, if you're in the chat, feel free to chime in.
Well, I would say that we don't have anything new to talk to Oroy about, and Oroy seems to have kind of closed off.
Yeah, I'm afraid that there
Options.
isn't a whole lot we can do.
Aside
We
from
were
like,
hoping to get some more information out of her, but it seems not to be the moment seems to have passed. So perhaps the observatory is the best course of action.
We could ply Toppy and Timor for more inscriptions, but that seems...
Yeah, there's always more to do. There's always more to do. So let's sail. At 6, either of the branches continues to our destination, so I will not pick. Ooh, that looks like a ruin up there. But a ruin of what? Oh, well. We don't seem to be going too close by it, actually. I don't know where it went. I'm going to continue just going off script here, in case we get close to it, but if we don't, I'll eventually let 6 navigate us back to the proper rivers. He seemed happy down there, didn't he? That must be Aaliyah. Not totally happy, but happy enough. Oh, let me look at the map. Okay. Most people I have observed are only temporarily happy. He certainly appeared to be having his moments, presumably with the pigs. Okay. That's a good observation about humanity, right? You know, happiness we tend to think of as this, oops, I actually didn't mean to miss that turning, so maybe I'll reset. But a lot of people seem to think of happiness as this, like, singular state you can achieve, and that's just not how emotions work. 6, about the pigs. Oh boy. They can't really tell the future, can they? I am shocked that you would ask me that, mistress. We don't even get a response to that. That was very cute. Yes, presumably Amir is using the medium of the pig oracle to share information he's not totally comfortable with assimilating into his own knowledge. What happened to our music? On Iox, they think the future is the past. So this is that loop religion of theirs. They think time is a repeating cycle. I wonder if that's any crazier than thinking pigs can talk.
I feel like we've gone way off course if we're in the cyclones.
Where are we anyway? Oop, that's not the button I meant to hit. Wrong way. Oh yeah. Yeah, we got way off course. That's okay. We'll get there eventually. Come on. Get back in the flow. There. That's a nice rapid. Eagle's claws. I haven't seen her use that one before. I do like that they seem to swear by bygone symbols. You know, by the goddess. What goddess? probably the goddess of the waters. By the eagle's claws. Eagle and sun was the old symbol of Iox, but really it was the symbol before Iox as well.
The Holy Empire.
The Holy Empire, or maybe even in the Age of Sail. Whoosh. It's a lot of rapids. That's probably good, since we went very far out of our way. It really is very satisfying to me, sailing these waters with the rumble controls. Anytime you can hear that of the river rushing, the controller is also shaking. Anytime I sweep sail like that, you can feel the resistance. Haptic feedback is so interesting. I wonder if you're, I don't know much about the history of rumble controllers, but it was such a good idea. Although, some games use it a little much. Was playing Super Mario Odyssey the other day, and I was like, really? Really, it's just gonna rumble this whole time? And on the other hand, I got to be a dinosaur, so. Who doesn't want to be a dinosaur from time to time? How old are tortoises as a species?
I think they go back to the Mesozoic, roughly contemporaneous with dinosaurs, possibly older.
Just saw something the other day. They dug up a tortoise shell the size of a car. Giant friends. If I were Aaliyah, I would basically never ever go back to Iox. Screw grad school when I can be out here doing this. Nah, I missed it. I'm gonna reset that turning. Sometimes, since the rivers are 3D, it's a little bit hard to tell. I did in grad school face some of the same criticisms that Aaliyah has been getting from her academic milieu. The keepers of the old way, as it were, don't tend to like ideas about breaking the boundaries of their discipline. And yet that's sort of the seat of new research. Kind of has to be. I mean, I don't think I had any grad advisors who literally thought that they were the emperor of an ancient civilization reincarnated. But really, with the Old Boys Club, you can never tell. Ooh. If 6 is telling me about a ruin, then I definitely get to see it, right? Give me the ruin. Yeah! Dates from Need of Sail. Hoppering down a heavily scratched brass compass. Just lying out there. Casing seems to be decorated with glyphs. Here we go! Finally, some epigraphy to do. It's the end of a broken fragment of text. So here, the first thing we have to separate it into words from what we know. Well, this looks like when, which is our little question mark glyph that's a little bit easier than a real life glyph might be. And then we have noun go high, winds, move, so verb wind end. That looks like into, so possessive of go. And then we have a new word at the end. So we've seen enough context to be sure of a word we had previously only guessed, but here we have the glyph for a noun marker, light, and then day, or...
What was that?
Cycle.
All.
All. All right, so our options: blessing, hope, friendship, line. That's a strange set. I mean, we've got hope or wish.
But it could be like a practical sort of thing, like, you know, it's a compass.
Could be. So,
like a line of stars or something.
Like if we say, oops, when winds move into line. That wasn't what I meant to do, but we'll find out eventually. Okay, so that originates from where we're going. Oh, we're actually quite close. All right, that's great. So let's take a look at our map, see what we can see. Where are we? We're over here. Okay, we're not that close yet. Still got a bit to go. But we've found so much leading to this site that I don't know how much more we're going to get on the way. There's a new river to the right. I don't know what that means. I think it might head towards our destination, so let's follow it. Area of weak flow, so likely not a new river, but a very old one, where no one has sailed in a long time. A ruin, excellent. I would love to stop at a ruin, yes please. Those chunks of buildings from moons that used to live. Received a copper coin with 6 sides. Whoever made this coin must be wealthy. It's heavy as an amulet. No inscription, though. So, it comes from our site. That's not a surprise. Miss. There was a turning somewhere? I see. So, this is the ruin we were just at. No.
Bring up the map.
Yeah. Oh, I see. That's fine. I'll just keep going this way.
Yeah. Take the next left.
Feels good to be back on a real river again, she says just as we get back onto. Okay, so we're in the vicinity of the site. We'll keep going left. It is heavily implied by these conversations that the rivers like this are maintained by sailing on them, and yet these cultures have... Okay, do not turn right. Gotcha. Many of these cultures have moved away from sailing as even allowable, let alone commonplace. IOX discourages its members from... Oh, we found it. IOX discourages its members from sailing. Aaliyah is looked down upon for her adventurousness. And then when we made it to the market moon of Ranaki, a person there told us that sailing the rivers was sinful because it's where the dead live. So... let's see about this observatory, finally. The universe is ending because of superstition and isolationism, huh? Where have I heard that one before?
Moon was nothing but cold, cruel rock. It could never have been home to anyone. And yet, someone had been here. And someone was still standing guard.
The god of the sky. It's an unforgiving place. Were there any other surfaces at all? None. Moon appears most rugged. Did anyone ever come here? Why build it otherwise? Guardian of this place. You've seen this before, the sky god, as I was saying. What are you doing here? I don't see a way up there. Why would you want to climb up there? Can you not see him from where you stand? You're not a very good archaeologist, 6. I'm an archaeologist. Why must humans insist on standing on things to understand them? Oh, 6.
Well, 6 can just scan things.
Perhaps this path leads around to the statue? Up here, 6, and don't complain. Bless the goddess. What has she seen?
The path ended at the edge of an enormous crater, where a mountain had been plucked out like a rotten tooth, and something had been built across the wound.
What are we looking at? This is not the site I thought it was.
Yeah, I forgot about this.
Can you scan it, 6? Scan it? Scan for what? It's a hole. So you can't tell me anything? What it's made of? Here's something, mistress, which may or may not be interesting. The tiles lining its surface are a metallic pottery composite. A what composite? Metallic pottery. Heat-resistant, reflective, conductive. Where did they even get enough metal for this crater? The mine we found, perhaps? It's quite possible, mistress. So, Aaliyah believes this to be an Age of Sail site. Let's see what we can see.
Looks like the path to the left might reach up to the statue.
There's a structure over there with a mast for a flag. No. Suspected as functional. Perhaps intended as some kind of beacon. So it must be some way to reach it. Yes, well, we can see a stairwell. Either the structure below was built around it, or else the surface had subsided over the years. Subsidence would suggest water in the soil, wouldn't it? It would, which I find implausible. So yes, you were saying around to the left looks a bit easier.
Yeah, well, if you pan to the left more... okay, I meant...
I have a trouble with directions. Maybe Oroi can help explain these crystals. Crystals not mechanical, and I would advise caution. What do the crystals have to do with anything? Caution? Why? It seems to me that a crystal capable of storing gravity, manipulating force, is a potentially seismic discovery. It may not be something you want to give to Oroi. Where? You mean gravity crystals are something I shouldn't give to Elbereth? You're worried about what? That they'll use them to drive ships through the dead space? And approach Iox without even coming in via the river gates? I have no concerns. I'm a robot, after all. But I should think Professor Miari might. I thought you said iolite was worthless. Now you think it bends gravity? I do not think the crystal bends gravity. I believe it stores some kind of force which does. I don't know when we started talking about iolite crystals, but...
I think we picked up some from the dig site where Janiki Renba found the ship.
We definitely did.
And there was something strange about them.
So... So we just climbed some steps carved into the rock, and 6 couldn't follow us. How old you would say this is, based on the weathering? Nearly a half thousand years old. Back when the Age of Sail was flourishing, might have established some kind of observatory out here to study the rivers, though why Remba should have cared about that, I don't know. So robots were not meant to come up here. That's what I was getting at. There are markings on the Sky God statue. Broken fragment of an even longer phrase.
Okay, give me a moment.
So Tortoise is copying down as much of the text as he can, which will be all of it eventually. Looks like we start out with the glyphs for sky. And then God. That's promising. We have some kind of verb here. It's a verb version of the glyphs for home. And then we have Serpent's Eye, which we've seen in another inscription before. One has a little symbol, but let's say serpents. Yeah, well, we don't actually. In real epigraphy, I don't think that the same context in two different places would give us enough for that. So we have verb home. You think, so it's a verb, so it's not going to be near. Could be lead, could be guards. I don't think breathe really makes sense in context.
I think guards more than reveals.
Yeah, just from the sense of groundedness, the location. The Serpent's Eye. Is that what they called this place? Certainly has the look of an eye. Well, a metaphorical eye, anyway. I want to walk as far as I can get this direction in case of fragments. But look at this mechanical underpinning. They've done a really good job graphically displaying how complex this site is. Except, just wait. What is it? I have found something. Gravity. You've just discovered gravity. I should have dropped you out in airlock like I did 5. Beg your pardon, mistress. What? Just tell me what you found. I discovered that the gravity within the crater is lower than the gravity outside. Are you saying you can see gravity? Indeed. After fashion. I mean, it's a reasonable robotic sense. I wonder why you can see gravity. Someone must have made you that way. Ah, good point, Aaliyah. My eyes can see most flows of momentum, so there's that. Useful for flying, seeing gravity. Useful, certainly, but the gravity of Nebula is also quite beautiful. More proof that the robots are, in fact, people. I've been reading Becky Chambers' Monk and Robot series, and, what need does a robot have? Are there any of those crystals? See, it gave us at the center of the crater. The gravitational effect is localized there. So we have this connection between the crystals and altered gravity. But as I was saying, in those books, robot consciousness is tied to wonder and beauty. And isn't all consciousness effectively tied to the ability to sense, to experience? So what was this place? Some kind of landing pad, maybe? Place to land ships? Low gravity would be useful for such locations, in particular for taking off again via some kind of explosive propellant. This does look like a way down. Kind of want to walk around the rim more, though. I don't know what there is to see up here, but
Looks like you might get blocked here.
quite possibly. Lizard! I'm just looking around, 6. You have eyes for that purpose. But I found a lizard! It's a friend for Sticky! How is it living here? There's no water.
I'm sure 6 would just love having a second lizard in the ship.
Uh-huh. 6, go convince Sticky 2 to come with us. Sticky Jr.
I will not, mistress.
Catch me if I fall, 6. What an idiotic remark.
Halfway down was wide enough for walking. Wide enough for robots too.
Oh, there are glyphs written below us.
Probably need to be at a better vantage point to actually
And there's also something at the center. Wonder if we can get down there. Something that looks like it has handles. A covered well, perhaps? Why would an observatory be built around a well? There is no moisture on this moon. Except for Sticky Jr. Whatever is at the heart of this crater, it is not a well. So we need to find a section that hasn't shattered. Oh, we can see the marks on the surface. Something once grew on these tiles? What? That's a fascinating observation. Does look like there is a section over here with no holes. And we can see the thing written on the rim. It's lovely to have it in-game visible. I do kind of wish they had more in-game visible inscriptions. But also, like, what was it painted in that it's still there after 1,000 years? Not that paint doesn't last 1,000 years. We have plenty of millennia-old paint in the real world. If you've heard the word polychromy battered around, that's statues that have remnants of paint. It was incredibly common for Greek and Roman statues to be painted in vibrant colors. Not everything survives equally, so we can't be sure of the exact shades that they used, but we can recreate what traces there are. And things like, the Parthenon marbles, or, there's this really lovely image of a Persian hunter. They just have these bright, vibrant, almost gaudy colors, and it's wonderful to look at. And so it's kind of a shame that we actually tend to think of them as these bare, white, pristine works of, like, stoic beauty. No, these were lush and lively, and so paint might well survive in some sense, but who knows if it was originally white, or how much it's faded and how much is lost over the years. So we have...
It's at the end.
Welcome. So we have something and be welcome. Do we have the verb? We do not have the verb.
But it looks like we have here.
Here?
Place.
Oh, that's much better. I was like, why would it be myself? Okay. So, verb, place, connector, ground, go. So, land, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Land here and be welcome.
Oh.
A landing bay, just as we thought.
Let me add land.
Yeah, it said arrive as a potential alternate. So, can I go down? Excellent. No gaps between here and the lower level. I could slide. Until you reach the bottom mistress, there's a sizable hole. True. After almost suffocating in the mine, I don't want anything else going wrong. But perhaps we can explore here first. Okay, so Aaliyah doesn't want to go down. I'm not going to force her yet. Dun, dun, dun.
The scale of the place was mind-boggling. It must have been built by giants for giants.
the air up here must be thin. Yep. Take your time to recover. Evidently, this place was intended for robot workers. Another lizard! It's a different lizard. It's got different coloration. Sticky the Third, come with us. Why are there lizards on this moon? It's very like that turret we saw before on the Steel Empire mine. It must be from a similar period. This looks like a door. Wonder if we can open it. Probably 6 can open it. Six. Can you make it work? Please stand aside. Locking is internal and magnetic. And 6 can, in fact, operate it. There. Just like the panels in the Steel Empire mine. Indeed, mistress. Well, here it is. Doesn't seem as large as I'd hoped.
A dark, cramped space, stuffed with metal and pipes and wires. It was like I turned into an ant and was now crawling around inside the robot.
Or a lizard. Da, da, da. So it is just like the mines. Ramps, it was managed by robots. And 6 is happy. There's some kind of panel. These doors seem stuck. I can get my fingers in, but they won't budge. Power to that section appears to have failed. Can you divert more power that way? Not some kind of plumber. I do want to know what this control panel is. Can you operate this 6? That one controls the temperature of the floor. This one appears more interesting. Can you work it out? You already have. There. I've activated the panel. What did it do? 6. What can we see through this other room? The place was clearly abandoned. No disaster, no destruction. It became obsolete. Can't see much through that other room, just the windows and the sand. Even less than in here. Okay, so what's up? What was that? Was the lower door resealing itself? You can open it again, can't you? I should think so. Oh, we've got an outdoor. Look at it. It's beautiful. Can you imagine ships coming to rest here like flies on a flower? What's that dot? Oh. Someone oversaw the site from here. But oversaw what? Can't have been a good job. It's uncomfortable, cramped, but robots don't care. So why is the door human height? Oh, there's something painted here. Not painted by a robot either. It's another phrase. Looks like we're starting with Nebula. Is
My ancient penmanship is out of practice.
A nebula is our garden. Ooh. Fascinating. You have it?
Yep.
Yeah, not plant. Garden.
Is garden a new one?
No.
Okay.
But we did get confirmation on nebula and our and garden. The nebula is our garden. The nebula is our garden. But something to do with ships. Fits with our idea of this as a landing bay. And a familiar little tripod. There was something here once, an instrument. It's meant to be an observatory. Seen its like before, same as the one on Janiki's moon on the roof of the Hermitage near Mersey. Angled to look at the center of the crater or else tilted up to the sky. Impossible to say for sure. But what's that on the roof? It's not empty. Telescope? The ladies in gray on Elbereth had a telescope on the roof. That's her orphanage where she grew up. So is this place an observatory after all? Is the ruin on Mersey an observatory? Locations are interesting. They suggest triangulation. We know Remba found a telescope on the crashed ship on another ruin near Mersey. We found one more. Triangulation of something. The data is indeed thin. What would help? More telescopes. Triangulation requires 3 or more points. If we assume the scope aboard the ship was bound or taken from Elbereth, if the telescope was what led Renba to the moon near Mersey, means the end of the trail wasn't the last emperor after all. The telescope was much older. He discovered the emperor quite by accident. It must have disturbed his faith greatly. A holy emperor dead and not returned to the rivers. So Remba felt there was only one person he could tell about the body, Professor Miari, and he didn't tell her directly. He sent the brooch and hoped she would understand, but she didn't, and she sent you. I think Miari understood what Renba's brooch meant. I think she understood perfectly. I think she sent me out there just to check he'd really blown up, or to check the Emperor had been, even. That is the most alarming chain of events. Not very flattering to your advisor. Oh, there's no eyepiece. What's the use of that? But this is Renba's observatory? I was not aware he had one. And in the ruin near Mersey, I met a robot. The robot bore a message from Remba. It told me to find an observatory. Now we have, but I don't know what Remba was hoping to find here. So there's no eyepiece, but I want 6 to look at it, because if it's not built for humans, oh well. But it does come free. There's something etched on it. Yay! It's a fractured piece of a longer phrase. Oh boy. That is so unrealistic. I cannot imagine writing that many glyphs for a single word. But, over time it would get simplified probably. So let me, and then I don't think we have that verb, and then a noun, looks like way or path. Well, it's written on a telescope, so it's a verb, so it's going to be point or look, but I think it's point. What do you think?
Yeah, it looks very similar. So it's led, but without the past tense marker.
Oh, right. So there we have it. Let me point the way. Some kind of lantern up there. No ropes, no fitting for a flagpole, but it is a signal mast, a beacon for sending something somewhere. Iox has a similar one for sending messages. Where does the mast send to? Wait, I believe I can deduce that. It's hardly accurate enough to pinpoint a target, though. Fascinating. I hope this isn't Renba's observatory, because if it is, I'm definitely missing something. There's nothing here. Well, there's
That's
not
not
nothing.
true.
Certainly a lot more than nothing. And a bit of history. A site built by robot labor, meant to be operated by robots. What was this place observing? The rivers. Nothing else seems plausible to me. Observing the rivers. Fascinating idea.
Air traffic control?
Yeah, air traffic control, presumably. Yeah. I have a result. What kind of result? A triangulation of the telescopes that Renba found, assuming they were recording devices transmitting data to each other in a central source, and assuming they were positioned while maintaining a line of sight to that central source. I believe I have found Renba observatories. Evidently, it is farther than we have ever been. How far is this observatory? Significantly further than the air tanks of the Nightingale would allow. Wow. That's a statement. So, the style of ship that Aaliyah has wouldn't make it to the observatory, according to 6. If I may see the device? Yeah, look at it, please. Most interesting. What is it? It's a recording device. There is a Rebesca foil at its apex. Recording what? If this device is a telescope, perhaps it has been recording the movements of the sky. Okay.
I want to know if 6 can read it. Probably not.
I wonder if there's a reason to put it in this other position. Would that help anything? Well, it's not going to give me the option, it looks like. But yes, a site run by robots for air traffic control, moving ships that we can't even conceive of, or she can't, at least, and a designated worship spot for the human sky god that robots cannot enter. I just find that fascinating. So, hey 6, can you get in this door? Oh, come on. A lot of the wiring here has been rendered purely decorative by time. Good thing the control downstairs still works, or we'd be stuck in here. It does still work, right? Statistically, mistress, it will? Thanks. Let's open the door. Aha. It would seem the power to this control is not entirely functional. Presumably the system has not been used or maintained in some time. So fix it? I'm not convinced that I can. As you're fond of remarking, I'm merely a robot. So hopper us out of here? I'm afraid the line of sight required is not available. We can head for the roof. An excellent idea. Please wait where you are. I will return momentarily. Six. 6 has been taking lessons from Aaliyah. Hello.
Not the first time he's thrown himself off of a
That was
precipice.
impressive, 6. Thank you, mistress. It appeared to solve the problem. Escape! I've fixed the lock. It will not close again. That seems... Alright. We know it's run by robots. Some kind of recording station observing the rivers. The crater itself is most likely a dock, a place for ships to land. Low gravity in the crater helps ships to take off. If this is Amadu's observatory, he's going to be disappointed there's nothing to sail. No, I do need to go down into the crater first. Here we go. You coming? You will? I didn't think that 6 would come. Not bad.
The robot was right. I felt as light as a feather.
Like a child. Interesting. Leah is walking around on hollow tile. A hatch. The pupil of the serpent's eye. It's warm? Mistress, please what? There's something underground, something powering this. There must be. Gravity really is low. Feel like a child again. But what is it? It's definitely not a well. It's clearly the focus of this whole place. What is it for? Well, time to see if you can pull the cover up. Can in fact. Evidently, it is a low gravity machine. Gravitational forces are strongest here. Let's look in. Can't say how far down it goes. Let's shine a light in it. See if we can see. Crystals. It's lined with iolite crystals, like the one Renba left on Mercy. Same as the crystals on Renba's ship. Slisset? Why? Now stay there. What? I bounced off it. Mistress, are you intact? Obviously. Water's above. Seems clear the hatch was the locus of an ancient upriver. Depleted now, but still active. You did not fly, mistress. You sailed. If this crater really had an upriver under that hatch, that raises so many questions. Where's the river gone? Was it artificial? Can you make a river? Divert one? Did the ancients make the nebula using uprivers? Could we change it for ourselves? I'm unsure. If there was an upriver here, what was the hatch for? Why was it closed? Fascinating. Closing off a river. What would that even mean, 6? To close off a river? A river is water and force line. The force line would remain, but without the water it could not be sailed. Still, the water would have to have gone somewhere. Perhaps the crater was flooded. That would explain the moss we saw. Do not think the river was controlled in order to harvest moss. Perhaps the water was used elsewhere, another river, perhaps. Did our ancestors really have the power to control the shape of the nebula? That's incredible. But how does such a power get lost? Robots. This place was clearly operated by robots. The process of controlling the rivers automated, and the robots fell and the processes were lost. So the crystal's here. And they still work. Incredible. Let's try it again. Do not. If you attempt to annihilate yourself, I will report it. I don't take orders from you, Six. Let's be clear about that. You are a coat hanger on wheels. Oh my gosh!
Aaliyah!
Professor, not assigning to you for fun. I know what I'm doing.
No, you don't.
Abundantly clear that you do not. Step away. Ooh, symbols I almost missed. We've got river, flows towards something quite long. And then of waters. Believe you are correct with flows. Thank you, Six. So, noun go, connector, noun place, connector, noun together.
It's not place. It's more like firm. Place is the
Right.
thing that looks like a sailboat.
Right.
It's like strength or something like that.
Mm.
So, way. Strong.
A
Water
junction?
flows toward. Oh, yeah, together.
River flows toward the junction of waters. A junction? This place or where the river went? Can you take a bearing? You can. It's not the same as that from the antenna mast. I want to look down again. Guess I can't. It's just so lovely to have the characters written out like that. The boat that Renba found, did it use crystals to help it sail? An excellent theory, mistress. Certainly it would require help to rise and land. Let's go back up. It's likely this is the Serpent Eye. It was an upriver. There still is. So the Serpent's Eye was a port, a place where large ships came to restock, run by robots and later used for observations of the sky. We have pinpointed one more new locations of an unknown site. No, I want you to keep working on that calculation. Do not believe the iolite in the crater here is natural. Believe the crystals were set in place. That's cool. There is no natural iolite here. No. It's been brought here at some complexity to be charged with force from the upriver. Ships came here to collect crystals from the hatch, to flick themselves forwards. The crystals don't create the upriver charges the crystals. It's very hard to say anything for certain. But But 6, where is the junction? I guess we've seen enough of this moon. Time to leave. Very good, says 6. Let's go. So we left the surface of the Serpent's Eye crater with newfound knowledge of the location of the site of the Heavens Vault. And that is an excellent time to end our stream, just over an hour. So thank you very much for coming along with us on this ride. And we will see you again here next week for more Ancient Gaming. Thank you.
Bye.